Hello, Aries. Welcome to your reading of September 24th through 30, 2023. My name is Dawn. You're listening to Dawn Williams Tarot. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. I am trying to grow this community of like-minded individuals that like to incorporate a little bit of astrology and tarot and spiritual development and all the tools that I've learned through all the years that I've been awake. And if you're returning to my channel, I thank you so much for being here. I still would love for you to like the video because that actually helps the algorithms push those videos out so more people are able to see them. And this is such an easy thing that you can do for content creators, not only for myself, but people put a lot of time and energy into creating these things for people to watch. So I just feel like the nice thing that you can do as a thank you is just click the like button, please. Okay, so this week I'm doing things a little bit different. I always go by the guidance that I'm given. I usually meditate. I go into my meditative state when I'm getting ready to work on the, new group of videos that I'm going to be releasing. This week was not any different. This time, Spirit had me choose these two different types of stones. This right here is called a selenite wand, although it comes in a bunch of different forms, selenite. You can actually buy slabs of selenite that, thick, but pretty good sized pieces. The thing about selenite is you do not want to get selenite wet. It does ruin the stone. It will, because it's a very soft stone. And you can see the luminescence. And the reason why I feel Spirit had me use this stone, which I use this stone a lot, to be honest with you, but in this specific group of readings was because Spirit wants people to start protecting their spiritual space, protecting your space. And one way to do that is to bring down the white light directly down from source. You imagine that it looks like this, a little bit opaque, meaning that whatever comes into that field can't really see through, can't see to you, right? You kind of want it just as a protective space around you. And when I do create my my armor, my protective space, that's kind of the way that I see it as well. And then the other two stones we're using for these readings is called bloodstone. I don't think that you can actually see the colors as well as I would love for you to be able to see them. They're a dark mottled green. And then within the green, they've got these patches, right? It's a deep red, a deep rusty kind of a browny red color. And I'm going to explain to you what both of those stones represent. So selenite bestows blessings and healing to the body. It's great for cleansing and clearing other stones. So when you utilize this, if you have other crystals or other stones that you work with, you can put them by a selenite and it absorbs, takes away all of the negative energy and transmutes it. I have programmed all of my selenite to transmute everything into love because I believe we are love beings. We resonate at that frequency. We are meant to resonate at that frequency. And when we're out of balance and we get brought down by the lower energies, it's harder for us to vibrate at that energy. But if you programmed your stones in order to be that, when you're around it, it's amazing how it really does lift you up. Bloodstone has a long historical record as a healing stone dating back to ancient Greece. It also is a talisman for Christians because the blood represents the crucifixion. It's a powerful stone of courage and calmness. It's recommended for anyone suffering from any type of trauma or post-traumatic stress disorder. And the reason why is because these stones are actually called spiritual warrior stones. And why that is important is not only are you meant to protect your space because you are a spiritual warrior. We are in a spiritual battle right now over Earth and what's going to happen here to humanity. These stones right here are meant to encapsulate or to amplify that energy to you. Okay. I am a Reiki master teacher. I got my Reiki master's teacher in 1996 when Reiki was still a modality that you had to learn one-on-one with your Reiki master teacher. It wasn't like an online course or anything like that. It was quite different than the way a lot of people teach it now. It was much more serious, and you really had to dedicate yourself to the healing arts. And so that was one of the reasons why I became a massage therapist, was so that I could utilize that ability and keep my commitment to utilizing Reiki in that way. So I do sit and meditate. I do send that Reiki energy out to you as a healing. So you can take it or you can leave it. And that's the thing about Reiki, is it goes where it needs to go. So I'm sharing that with you right now. The last thing I wanted to share with you was I happened to be flicking through YouTube the other night. I was sitting here by myself, and I was going through, looking at shorts, because I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to start creating short videos as well. And I happened to come across a guy I've never seen before. And he was talking about this very same thing, about the spiritual battle that we're fighting right now as a humanity against the dark and the light, right? Some people will attribute that to the tribulation. This is the tribulation time. This is the time of, where we're just so very close to all of the things that are described in the Bible, in Revelation, are unfolding right before our eyes. And we're having to pick our lanes. We're having to make decisions as to what we want to do as a soul in this physical body. But anyway, one of the things that he said that really struck me, and why I feel that Spirit had me tap onto his short, was because he said at the end, he says, don't be afraid of the dark. Let them be afraid of the light, meaning let the dark be afraid of the light. Let them be afraid of your light, because you're powerful. You're needed at this time, right? And you have that emperor energy as your sign. So, okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself off screen. I am going to lay out your cards. I'll explain each of the rows as I go. At the very end, I will come back on screen and I will give you your last final messages of your main themes to take away for the end of the reading. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to take myself off screen so you can just focus on the cards. Okay. Oh, look at this one. Time for a deep dive. What is that? I don't know, one of those. Oh, look at you. You're the light of the world. And then oh, wow. God box. There was another sign that got the God box. This is a great card. Okay. We got the Sun, which is a major arcana. This is all looking great, you guys. Okay. Okay, so each of the rows. This is looking really good. Okay, so this first column has to do with your general energies for the week of the 24th through the 30th, okay? The second row has to do with things that are unexpected, that are coming in that you are not seeing or have not been paying attention to, are not aware of, that you need to be aware of. The third column has to do with critical information you need to know. And this fourth column right here is all about the good stuff. So no matter what's in there, it's all good. So we start off with your general energies. Instead of taking on the fear of others, I reflect love. Now that's a good mantra right there. Because, you know, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear pouring out there right now. We've got so many things going on, all the stuff going on with the, you know, the various different regimes and different government entities that are trying to rule this country. We've got all the stuff that's coming from the WHO and the, you know, all across the world, there's a lot of fear. So I think that this is a very beautiful message. Instead of taking on the fear of others, just reflect love back. Love is what makes the world go round. And then we have the Sun card. This is a beautiful card. It is one of my favorite cards. The Sun represents nurturing growth and healing and renewal. And it's got sunflowers on here. And sunflowers represent joy, vitality, and the sun, which is why it's represented on this card. So this is a major arcana card. This is a card of blessings, really. And I feel like this represents the energies that you're going to be tapping into as your general energies this next week. And then we have the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is a card of celebration. So this could be a celebration between you and your tribe, you and those people that are closest to you. It could be a family thing. But many times when I see this card, it always represents me of really good friends getting together and celebrating. So this could be representing a need to get together with your friends, go out for a night or do something together, do a paint night or whatever. But that's what this card is representing for you. And then we have this Seven of Pentacles. Now, sevens typically represent gaining experience or utilizing existing experience. It's also a card of building confidence. In this particular situation, we have the Pentacles here, which represents your physical security, your wealth, your health, your career, your possessions, and your home. This guy has planted all of this, and he's evaluating, is this ready to be harvested? And he's in a situation right now where he's having to wait, right? He's having to wait. He's planted seeds. Now he's got to wait for them to germinate so that he can actually harvest his crop. So there's something here that's a little bit of a delay, but just know that things are in the works and things are working just fine and will be to your benefit. This is the unexplained. You have the Swan Spirit. Time for a deep dive. Now, what does that mean to you? A deep dive into what? Are you looking for information about potentially going on a vacation or a trip or something like that you would need to really figure out how you're going to get there, logistics, where you're going to stay, where you're going to go, those types of things? Or is this a deep dive into yourself, a deep dive into what am I really creating? What is it that I really want? What am I going to work on for this specific week and working into my future? So whatever that means to you, it is there for you to tap into. We have the Five of Swords. These people were in a battle, right? And this guy has been victorious. Those guys have given up and are trying to walk away, right? So he's gathering up these swords so they can't come back and attack him again. So there was some kind of a conflict that may be coming in for you. However, it just really represents changes in your thoughts, because the swords represent, you know, how you express with your mind or ideas, right? Communication of some kind. And this guy has defeated these people. So the thing about this card is also a card of victory, but at what cost, right? So think about that. Do you have this need to be right? Do you have the need to have the last word? Do you have the need to be able to sway people to your way of thinking? And at what cost to you? Will you lose friendships over it? Will you lose people who are close to you over it? So just stuff to think about in this unexpected row. But we then have the 10 of Pentacles. What I love about the 10 of Pentacles is that this is a card of abundance and family, happiness, and joy. What this is telling me is that your physical security is in a place of happiness and completion. You're in a really good space financially. You're in a good space in your career and in your home, and there's a lot of joy and happiness and abundance here, right? And that's what this card represents. Not that that's unexpected, but for some reason, maybe something's going to come in and help add to your coffers in some way. And then we have this Three of Wands. This Three of Wands is one of the few cards where you can't really see any expression or the face of the individual. This guy is up on this hilltop and he has dispatched these ships to go out. He's creating something, right? So he's using his creativity, he's sending it out into the world, and now he's got to kind of wait a bit for those things to come back so that he can figure out what his answers are. So he's dispatched something, he's created something. It's something that is inspiring, something that he's passionate about, right? And he's standing up here and he's wishing these, he's watching these ships flow out of the harbor. And now he's just going to have to wait till they come back and give him his answer. So he's thrown something out there and now he's waiting for it to return. This column is all about critical things that you need to know. And I bet you never knew that you were the light of the world, right? That's funny. What I think this card represents is maybe you need to embrace this idea of really shining bright, of really getting out there, really sharing your spiritual knowledge with others, really just being the light by example. That's one of the best ways to teach, I feel, is by example. I try to do that in my life. I didn't always have that as my mantra, but as I got older and I realized the value of being coming from that space, coming through truth, coming with integrity, and coming with passion and all of those things, I feel like this is a great reminder for you, Aries. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this queen is self-made. She's also a healer. She has been able to tap into create her own abundance. She knows how to do that. She actually loves creating a very homey environment. She likes her possessions around her. She's very much embraces those creature comforts that we all enjoy. So it could very well be that you're going to be working with a queen that embodies these energies, or you are the queen that embodies those energies, meaning that you have gotten yourself into a place where you feel very physically secure. You are very heart-centered. You communicate from that space. You do have a degree of generosity. You do have a degree of being of service to others, right? And that's kind of all the energies that this is talking about. So this is either you or somebody that you are going to be working very closely with this next week. We have the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is the most fiery and the fast-moving knight in the tarot. The wands have to do with our inspiration, creativity, passion, motivation, intuition. And as you can see, he's got these salamanders on his cloak here. And salamanders do represent fire. He's protected, right? So this is protection from the divinity, really. And he's going full charge. Now, what the knights represent are, they are the cards, they're the court, what do I want to call them? They're the energies in the court that take action. So what this card is telling you is that you want to stop thinking, start moving, and start taking action. And while you're going to be starting that action, right, you need to really tap into your intuition. You've got this major arcana, the high priestess. She has some kind of a mystery that's going to be coming in for you that is not readily available for you to know, because this is critical for you to know. Somehow or another, something's going to come in, and it's a bit of a mystery, right? It's a bit of a mystery, but she also uses her intuition and her subconscious, right, to gain knowledge. So there's something unexpected coming in. If you tap into your high levels of intuition and you focus on that, I feel as though you're going to be okay, because that's what she's telling you you really need to do. Tap into your intuition, tap into your higher self. So whatever's coming in for you, if you come from that place where you're bringing in your higher self, you will be guided so much more easily into your next step. And then this last column has to do with good stuff. And I've got to tell you, one other sign, I don't remember which, actually got this card as well. But the God box talks about write any worries, concerns, or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called a God box as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. So what this is actually suggesting that you do is find something that you feel you have an affinity with, that you like, either a box, a container, a glass jar, something that means something to you, and then designate that as your God box. And then when you have things that come up that you don't know how to resolve or you are worried about, write it on that piece of paper, put it in your God box. And then that helps spirit recognize and realize that you're giving it up to them, right? So this is the same as a prayer, but this is actually taking action, right? That's this taking action card. So even when you find yourself, where something is giving you a stumbling block, you can put that in your God box, and the divine will actually help you with resolution. Beautiful cards. Then we have the two of wands. And again, this gentleman has got the world in his hand. So he's lived his life. He lives very comfortably. He's living in this castle. He's got, there's houses that are all around him because, he's got people that look up to him because he is a leader. And then these two wands are talking about, the twos have to do with making some type of a choice or decision. This card to me always represents deciding whether you want to stay in your comfort zone or whether you want to take the adventure, because the wands have to do with pushing you out and doing things that you typically wouldn't do, right? This is about adventure, it's about inspiration, it's creativity. And he's really evaluating because he's seen a lot of the world. He has his opinions and his beliefs based on the things that have happened in his past. But now he's really questioning whether or not, has the world completely changed? Is there something out there that I'm unaware of? do I want to stay here where it's safe and comfy, or do I actually want to go out and explore? And that's kind of what the choices I see that are coming in. This could represent a trip. It could represent the unknown in that sense of, diving into the unknown. And then the other thing that I notice here are the roses and the lilies. And the roses have to do with wisdom, love, courage, and taking action. And the lilies have to do with compassion and purity of thought and action. So you may want to sit down and really think about bringing your intuition to give you your answer on what it is that you will be looking at next week. This Knight of Pentacles, so we have 2 nights in a row. This one is telling you to move, get going. This night is more of the nights that he's a homebody, because he's protecting his home. He's protecting his physical security. He's not moving very far, where this guy is going out and adventuring, right? So there's a difference between these 2 nights. However, this night, of course, has to do with finances and plans and all of that. I feel like he really needs to plant some seeds in this field here, and he needs to get moving. And that's kind of what I pick up about this guy compared to this guy. This guy is going. He's like, okay, I'm just going to trust where I'm going. This guy wants things to be a little bit more solid and sure-footed for himself. And that may be the energy that you're tapping into. But yet again, the nights have to do with taking action. So there's something that is going to ask you to take action next week. And whatever it is that you take action with is going to be fast moving. This is a victory card. This is fast moving energy. And it's just going to whisk you into your month of October, right? So this has all looked really, really good, Aries. I'm going to bring myself back on the screen. Hello. And now I'm going to do your main theme. So this is either going to tie up the rest of your reading and confirm, or it's going to be things that you might want to use as a mantra or a affirmation. And your first card is a bouquet. Isn't that lovely? I love flowers. I don't know about you, but I do. Compliments from an admirer. I don't necessarily see this as a love reading, but that doesn't mean there isn't love within this reading, right? And then the next card is called the Bat. And the Bat says, take care. Enemies are working against you. Now, I don't really see that enemies are working against you here, other than this one card, right? Which is would go in connection with this. So just be careful, because that card talks about winning at all costs. And while you may have enemies working against you, just remember you are the light of the world. And sometimes the best way to gain people to your side is to use a gentle something gentle, because sometimes you can get further with gentleness than you can with sticks and stones. And then your next card is the Feather. And the Feather says, someone you know is undependable and insecure. Uh-oh. Well, that would be a young person, so that very well could be. Didn't we have the page? No, we didn't have the page here. No pages. Well, I don't know who that is, but maybe you know who that is. Someone you know is undependable and insecure. Your next card is Tower. Solid foundation and success with effort. Anything worth having in your life does take effort, so that doesn't surprise me. If things came to us easily all the time, we wouldn't appreciate them. I think that we grow when we have difficulties and challenges. Lion, time to act. Okay, so that does validate a lot of this energy because you've got these two knights. We're saying, move forward, just keep going, stop thinking, take action. Okay, Aries, that about wraps up your reading for this week. It looks really good. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you're new, please like and subscribe. And if you're old, please like. And I appreciate you so much for being here till the end. And until next time, take very good care of you. And remember, you are the light of the world. Till next time.